Family fights over dinner, holidays that require therapy afterwards, constant criticism and blame. Yeah, sometimes relationships with parents can cause serious issues, hurt more than they bring joy, and feel downright unbearable. Can this be fixed? Would it be easier to just cut them off entirely? Let's try to answer these questions. If you're digging our psych video, subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. Relationships with our parents are our first experience interacting with people and the world. They teach us not just how to walk and talk, but how to communicate, deal with our own and others' emotions, assess situations, and respond accordingly. But how does this learning happen? Of course, moms and dads don't lecture us on how to love properly, get attention, or interact with others. We pick up all these complex lessons by observing their behavior. That's why a parent's influence on our personality development can't be overstated. As little kids, we have no other source for life info, so we constantly study the important adults, analyzing their actions, their worldview, and how they treat us. The conclusions we draw get ingrained as core parts of who we are. Parents initially build relationships with threats and criticism, a surefire way to mess up a kid's self-esteem and ability to have healthy relationships as an adult. Attachment is a key concept in most studies of parent-child relationships. It means the deep emotional bond between a child and their mother or primary caregiver. This connection is crucial because infants can't survive alone. They need nurturance and protection. At first, attachment comes from the mother's side, but a mutual child attachment rapidly develops through stages. According to researcher Gordon Newfield, from birth it forms through the senses. By age 2, kids grasp the concept of similars, and by 3, emotions of ownership and jealousy emerge. Starting around 4, children develop a deep need to feel important and valued by parents. They start grasping what love is, want to share secrets and thoughts, and need to feel understood. If all these needs get properly met, the child forms a secure attachment style with parents and builds a trusting, balanced relationship, one unlikely to have major issues down the road. But that's often not the case. Attachment can get disrupted in one of 3 ways. First is an anxious, ambivalent attachment style where the person lacks confidence in parental support. This happens if parents are inconsistent with rules and tend to dismiss a kid's problems. As adults, these children struggle with emotions and codependent relationships. The second is an anxious avoidance style, where kids see mom as emotionally insensitive and don't try bonding much. It stems from the mother's emotional detachment, but the need for love doesn't go away. It turns into inner conflict. The third, most damaging style is disorganized attachment, usually rooted in serious psychological trauma. It's marked by the child wildly vacillating between needing the parent and hating rejecting them. In parallel with building attachment from day one, the opposite process of separation is also happening, the child's psychological separation from parents. Separation starts at birth when the infant physically separates from mom. There are stages here too, with the toughest being the teen years when the family must radically restructure, letting the child go while accepting them back as an independent adult. Many view separation as completely cutting emotional, practical, and communicative ties with family, but that's not it. Completing separation means becoming self-sufficient while maintaining some connection. If parents granted age-appropriate autonomy at each separation stage, relationship issues are unlikely as an adult. But our moms and dads a couple decades ago were pretty young themselves and probably didn't take any parenting classes. So in raising us, many took the easier but damaging path. Blackmail, no movie if you don't eat your soup. Threats, one more bad grade means house arrest. Or helicoptering, you can't take the subway alone until 18. Messing up any separation stage can wreck adult relationships with parents. Sometimes parents try to keep controlling their grown kids' life, micromanaging even careers and dating. They're convinced that without supervision, a 30-year-old can't pick good friends, housing, or romantic partners. And they could be right. But at this point, that's the 30-year-old's responsibility. To prevent independence, parents use manipulative tactics like guilt-tripping, put-downs, accusations, and playing the victim. I wasted my best years on you. My heart's giving out and I still don't have grandkids. When will you quit messing around with that freelance nonsense and get a real job? If your parents say stuff like this, they don't see you as a grown-up. But here's the catch. If those comments sting and you try convincing them otherwise, you're still stuck in teen separation mode yourself. You may be financially independent, but subconsciously you still crave their approval and aren't ready to interact as a true equal. Many people who realize this end up blaming parents for messing up their upbringing. But that's just another losing teenage strategy. First, you're essentially passing the buck for your adult life. Second, parents can't undo past mistakes now, so you'll have to solve this independently and complete the separation process yourself. Becoming psychologically independent from parents as an adult is tough and requires serious self-awareness. It'll be much easier if you're already more practically independent, living separately and self-supporting. Start the emotional separation by understanding and accepting that you and your parents are different people. A simple exercise can help. Make an exhaustive list of how you diverge, whether it's habits, personality, lifestyle, food preferences, fashion sense, etc. The more distinctions you can articulate, the better. You can then initiate conversations about this separateness, discussing how all people are unique and you don't have to be exactly as they want, so it's pointless to criticize and lecture you. The next step you'll need to take solo is to stop idealizing your parents, but also acknowledge their positive qualities. They aren't deities to be obeyed, nor evil villains, just flawed humans like anyone. Your parents made mistakes like most, probably not maliciously. It's crucial to accept those errors as facts while fixing their effects independently. To overcome childhood resentments, remember moments you're grateful for, whether timely advice, joyful memories, or practical financial help. Recognizing not just faults, but also positive contributions is key to adult separation instead of teenage tantrums. After that, you can tackle the main issue with toxic parents: boundary setting. Boundaries could relate to personal space, how you communicate, unsolicited advice, or anything infringing on your autonomy as an adult. Define your boundaries concretely through specific actions and situations, then convey them clearly. Of course, family may buck against these new rules at first, but it's vital to stay grounded as the mature one, not regressing into hurt and accusations. Your goal is preventing present mistakes while helping them realize you'll conduct yourself as an adult going forward and expect respective treatment. Parents usually resist such stark relationship changes using manipulative tactics, most built on inducing guilt and shame. They may claim you're disrespectful or unloving for not deferring to them, like refusing to help at their summer home, prioritizing your own plans instead. In those moments, it's hard not to get emotionally hooked, but you must avoid that trap. Calmly explain your perspective. Helping them understand one weekend doesn't negate your relationship, just allows prioritizing what matters most to you now. If you consistently enforce your boundaries without caving to manipulations, parents will eventually accept the new dynamic. Consistency and firmness about your adult rights are key. You may need to temporarily limit family contact early on so they fully adapt to the new rules of engagement. But once boundaries are settled, your bond can regain a healthier balance. Remember, the goal isn't cutting parents off entirely, but establishing an equal, respectful adult relationship respecting each other's personal boundaries. It's a lengthy, challenging process requiring patience, but allowing you to resolve many conflicts and build healthier family communication. Enjoyed the video? Listen to our lectures instead of wasting time on social media.